up in 9th place on GC, having climbed his way well coming down through England. Hopefully he'll be back to the Tour of Britain, maybe this year as well, to ply his trade for Corotech. I'm not sure if they're riding Tour of Britain, actually. We'll wait to see that. I'm not sure if all the teams have been announced just yet. I actually the remaining Corotech rider in there. And it's all done and dusted now for Marcus Sander Hansen and Jomin Juristi. It's been a great race-long battle between those two. Initially, it was between Sander Hansen and Per Gurkatcha, of course, of the same team, Euskaltel-Euskadi, but now it's Juristi. I think I'm going to give Euskaltel-Euskadi the most breakaway-y team of the week prize, Robbie, as we come into these final 10K. They've been right at it the whole time, the boys in orange, haven't they? Good value for money as ever.
Yep, they've really made a race of it every single day, to taking their opportunities, trying to get off the front. The other team that's been so active and very successful, Uno X, and I really like the way they've ridden this week. Aggressive, putting guys in breaks. They've got one of the jerseys, as long as he crosses the line, Sander Hansen. And, of course, Waterskjold, the stage victory that he got.
Yeah, I find myself looking through our list of 16 teams, Robbie, to try and find a team that have been either disappointing or quiet all week. But actually, it's been pretty well spread, actually, this week. We've seen a lot of all these teams. It maybe helps having slightly less of them.
We're here at the finish of the final stage, and as you can see behind me, we've got Mariah. The riders today have said that this is not too much of a difficult finish, but I beg to differ. This is a very hard finish indeed. You can just see how steep it is there. Those signs down there, that's 500 metres to go. So as we walk more up the hill, this is probably the steepest part we're on now. The signs just up there are 200 metres to go. Just before 250, it does flatten off a little bit. So there is the risk for the riders today when they're coming into here, they could push on too much, go too early, and just absolutely blow their lights off before they get to the top. Far in the distance, you can see the finish banner. For me, this is absolutely ideal for the likes of Jonathan Milan today.
Oh, once again, Adam Blythe picking out Jonathan Milan as a potential winner. Well, they are locked on for that finish right now. 7 kilometres to go. It's so hard to tell, though, looking at that shot, Robbie, how tough that finale is. It did look, as I watched Adam's immaculately coiffured hair there, that there wasn't much wind. Either that or he's used some very stiff setting gel.
I think both is the answer to that one there, Jez. But as I was looking back down the hill, it's always difficult on television to get an idea of what the gradient is and the elevation differences. But it did certainly look like a pretty decent uphill sprint. As Adam said, flattened off a bit with about 250 to go. For a pure sprinter like Dylan Groenewegen, it's about pacing your effort and not reacting to huge accelerations, trying to get that smooth lead out. And that'll be Luka Mezgec, who has to take him through that sector of the course and try and get him to the top with his legs intact and able to have enough power in reserve to then place his sprint in the final 200 metres, where there'll be others that are trying to go really hard from the bottom and burn the likes of Dylan Groenewegen and your Pascal Ackermann. Well, Ackermann, he goes uphill well anyway, and I think he's looking a lot better today again. He was sick on day one. He's improved every single day and taking more of an active role within the race, helping his teammates. And today is, of course, his last chance.
These guys have hung on well. They're clinging on to 22 seconds at the moment, but this is the deepest any of our breakaways have gone in this race so far by a long way. They've been out there an awfully long time today. Cyril Dessel is flicking his elbow, though. I think if they do any kind of waiting now, I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these guys try and clip off and have a little bit of late time out front by himself, but they can't afford to mess around now. And that gap is coming right down. Let's look at it visually now as they rumble across those metal road studs. Yeah, very much within sight. And now this is the turn onto the long drag. They are dragging all the time now to the finish. And already it's quite a messy looking front of the peloton there, Robbie, isn't it? Splitting up as they go over the road studs. Now split on two different sides of the road. Uno X, I wonder who they are working for today. Is it going to be Erlen Blicker, or are they thinking about Søren Wernskjold? We've seen Wernskjold up and near the front a fair bit today. You can't miss him. He's a big, broad figure, of course, powerfully built guy. And he's in amongst that orangey yellow gaggle on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I think it's going to be for Blicker today. He's on paper, he's usually their fastest in a normal sprint. Warren Skold the other day, that was, in a really tough finish in Abu Raqqa after the climb, where all the purer sprinters were dropped. And it was the big engines of himself in Milan who went head-to-head. But, yes, today I think for Uno X, it will be Blikra with just 11 seconds left for this group. It's been an admirable fight that they've put up to get this far and this close to the finish with just 5 kilometres remaining. And here comes a last-ditch attack now from Juristi.
Yeah, Juristi the first to go, but the others are going with him as well. None of these have chosen to raise the white flag just yet. I think Cyril Dessel might be feeling it a little bit because he didn't want to spend too much time on the front, or maybe he's saving himself for a last dig as well. Well, the Uno X boys are almost detaching themselves. Yes, this road, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Robbie, has actually only been built to get to Morea, the actual concert hall itself, the mirrored building, because it's quite a new road, this, and it only seems to go there. So the surface should be good, but it's definitely narrower, isn't it?
Yeah, that's more like just a security checkpoint and turnaround point, drop-off, something like that. So they've squeezed their way through there safely, which is good to see. Now the road opens back up again. So it's a very nice road surface too, by the looks of things. A really smooth-looking, almost slick-looking, with a slight covering of dust over it. But luckily, no really tricky corners, just a few bends coming up. 1.5 kilometres to go. They'll take a bit more of a harder left-hand turn. And then it's another left and then swings back around to the right in 2 goes to bring them onto what is effectively the finishing straight.
If you look at the colour order of Uno X there, they've got Warnskold right second last. Last wheel is Jakob Hinskol. So I don't know whether they're thinking of trying to get the climber into good position on this ride. I don't really think it's enough. But Hinskol is the last of those Uno X riders. And just in front of him is the big tall figure of Soren Warnskold. So unless they're in the wrong order at the moment, that is interesting. Because in front of Warnskold is Erlen Blikra, second or third rider there now in that line of Uno X riders who are doing everything to try and take control of this, the boys in yellow and orange. So I just wonder what they're thinking about today. I've got a feeling, Robbie, it might be about Warnskold. I'm going to pick him right now as my winner today. Just got a feeling about that. Let's see, though. If you're watching at home, see what you think. Who's looking good?
Well, another attack there from Dessel this time, but covered. And now it's Malecki trying to be last man standing.
And they are just dangling right in front of our peloton. We are inside the last 4K, 3.5K to go to the finish at Morea, and the finish of the whole Saudi Tour is building beautifully this, but they've still got to catch the breakaway. It's not happened yet. They've ridden really well, these 6 riders as it once was, then 5, now 1 and 4, but they're gradually looking to be fed back into that peloton, which is still under the control of Uno X. Have Uno X gone too soon? And who are they working for? Is it Erlen Blikra, as Robbie thinks? Is it Soren Welshgold, as I'm thinking? Or are they even thinking about Jakob Hinskol, maybe, their Dane, who we've really not seen show himself yet this week? Bahrain victorious come back into play. Where are Jaco Alula, Robbie? Where is Dylan Groenewegen? What's happening with that team right now?
He's been hanging back a little bit with Luka Mezgec and just trying to guide him smoothly towards the front. The rest of the team have been hanging around the front, staying out of the wind, not doing a turn just yet. So that is a good sign for them. UAE, they'll be trying to pilot Pascal Ackermann as well. But at the moment, it's Kamil Malecki, the Pole from Q36.5. He's left his brake companions behind. They've been absorbed. Some of them shot out the back. And Malecki, he's battling.
Wow.
He's looking over the shoulder. It's a small gap, but he is going to make them work for every little centimetre to pull him in.
What a great ride by the Pole. This is awesome. He is holding them off, but the chase is coming. Malecki just dangling there. It's going to take one of these big teams to drill it down and then immediately swing straight into lead-out action. Uno X still up on the left-hand side. They've been the most impressive team so far. But here comes Jaco Alula, the Australian team with the Saudi sponsor, now choosing to come to the front. Is Robbie right? Have they chosen this day to leave it till the very, very last to bring Dylan Groenewegen into action? We can already see Elmar Reinders in action there as well. Next Stibar ready to bring Dylan Groenewegen to the front. That's that last sweeper.
So this is the corner, and this was the plan for Jaco Alula, to be in control from 1.5 kilometres to go through the left-hander. It gets a little bit narrower for a bit here and a few changes of direction. If you're leading through here with changes of direction, it allows you to control the front, to swing across, use the entire road and try and just keep all your rivals behind you. Never let them get a run up. But as Bahrain victorious coming up the middle with Pascalon, but nobody in his wheel because Milan, he swung back to the other side there in the red jersey.
There's gaps opening up behind them too. This is Human Powered Health on the front, and they have Matt Gibson ready to lead it. I think it's Sasha Wemas. They go past Maria itself, and they're now heading in towards the final kilometre here, the final drag. Let's see what kind of effect this drag has. You can see it starting to kick a little bit, Robbie.
Yep, and this is where it does start to kick up around that bend. It's going to bend around a little bit more now, and then the gradient starts to increase. Second wheel, Milan brought by Pascalon. A lot of Jayco AlUla riders there. The question now is, has Groenewegen got the legs? Will you make the call for Mezgec to go on his own, or will Groenewegen do the sprint? Elbows out, Groenewegen through the gap.
And Buitrago also getting muscled out of it there. This is Jayco AlUla's race to lose, and it's Pierre Allegaert. Pierre Allegaert, the Belgian rider who leads for Cofidis. He's taking Luca Mezgec by the look of it with him. Mezgec now leading, but where is Dylan Groenewegen? You can see the gradient kicking, Robbie.
And Groenewegen goes.
Here we go. Groenewegen leads, and it's Kees Bol, number 71 on his back there. That is Simone Consoni, who's also having a go. Groenewegen, you can see how hard this is. Consoni, the Italian for Cofidis, going clear. He's looked good this week. Simone Consoni leads. He's going to win it. He's going to win the final stage. And the Cofidis man has looked so good these last 2 days. Simone Consoni takes the win, and his teammates right there, including Max Wildscheid, a fist in the air. What a great ride by the Italian.
Well, Consoni, he's been knocking on the door of a good win for a long time. We spoke about him a couple of days ago. He's a fast sprinter, a track specialist who survives the hills very, very well. And today he tracked Groenewegen, and Groenewegen, he went very, very long. He spent a long time on the front. And Consoni, he tracked that wheel of Groenewegen, rode what slipstream there was at the low speeds, because that was a steep kicker. And Consoni, he was able to just keep the full power down, stay out of the saddle. Groenewegen, he had to sit. It was Consoni who went to the front from about 150 metres to go, and he left everybody in his wake. Challenged towards the line, but still comfortable enough, and also comfortable. Guerrero in green has won the Saudi Tour.
Absolutely fantastic. Great ride by Movistar today, protecting him. Let's watch it again from above, Robbie. Great finale.
Well, Groenewegen goes right. He had to make up some ground because it was Max Kanter from Movistar who came in between. Groenewegen over the top. Kees Bol is the man following on the right. And then there comes Consoni. Past Bol into the slipstream, but staying just to the side. 150 metres to go. Groenewegen just starts to tie up now, and Consoni, he goes full power. Groenewegen, his legs go from underneath him. He has to sit down. Ackermann, he's back there in fourth wheel, and then looming up on the right-hand side, but getting to half a length behind Consoni. One of the riders there, and I think
it might be Malucelli.
Malucelli or Tizza.
Great sprint
Hard to
by
tell
him.
from that picture. Really good sprint from Consoni. Powerful, long-lasting.
And it has to be said, good to see Pascal Ackermann looking more like his normal self. He's had a rough old year or so, as I say, since I put it down to, well, whatever it's got to do with it, since the crash he had at De Panne back in the spring of last year. He did not have a good year at all. And he's looking much more like himself, the German.
Well, congratulations to the team all round from Guerrero. Max Kanter, he tried hard. He fell away in the sprint there. And you were right, Jez. Matteo Malucelli was the man coming home strong in second. Groenewegen looked like he hung on for third in front of Ackermann, a throw for the line, and then Kees Bol. So it was the sprinters that had their day. Jonathan Milan unable to match them on this occasion. But Consoni, he's brought in the second good win for Team Cofidis this season after Brian Coquard in the Tour Down Under with a stage win in Wollonga. So they're off to a good start.
Oh, yes, that Coquard win in Wollonga Township. What a fantastic moment. Good start for Cofidis, as you say, absolutely. On the road, it's actually, I believe, only Consoni's second or third win as a pro, the 28-year-old. Third, Robbie's telling me on the camera, so that would be right, I believe. And that's actually surprising, not least considering his track pedigree, as you said, Robbie. He's a multiple national champion in the Omnium on the track, but he's also ridden to silver medals in the team pursuit in both European and World Championships in recent years. Here it is again from the front. Lovely shot, that, looking through the late afternoon sunshine of Simone Consoni. Someone we hadn't really picked out, although we should have done with the way he sprinted at the top of Abu Raqqa, where he was fourth up there behind Werenskjold, Milan and Bol. I'm trying to see if we can see a top 10 just yet, but Max Welshire won't have been far off it. In fact, our green jersey won't have been far off the top 10. Ruben Guerrero placing well up that. What would you give that out of 10 for hardness, that rise to the finish there? Toughness. It looked quite hard at that speed.
I'll give it a 6. I'll be generous. I'll give it a 6. It's right. Well, I'm starting to think, hard. What's hard? What are we comparing it to? But for a sprint finish, I'm going to give it a solid 6.
Well, Adam Blythe has grabbed a word with Simone Consoni, our winner. Let's hear how happy he is.
Simone, congratulations. How does it feel?
Oh, really hard. I mean, I start 300 meter and it looks like a 4K, like team pursuit, really. Last 50 meter, I was thinking about the team pursuit, and I continue to push until the end. This one is really important for me, this win, and of course for all the team. We start really good the new season, and I'm happy also because I showed that I can also win.
And you started the sprint early. Was that the plan for you, or did you want to wait a little bit?
No, before the last corner, I lost a little bit my lead out, but I think it was just about the legs in the end. I waited a little bit, and I found a space, and really good.
Fantastic win, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Simone Consoni, who is, of course, I've omitted to mention this, the Olympic champion from that incredible, very strong Italian team pursuit squad from those Olympic Games back in 2021, alongside Filippo Ganna, of course, in that team. Consoni. He was also silver medalist at those games in the Madison, alongside Michele Scartesini. Now there's the top 10. Malucelli and Ackermann, Groenewegen, the fast men at the front, just ahead of Max Kanter and Cees Bol. JJ Lobato, Marco Tizza, Sanyuk and Jonathan Milan coming in for 10th there. So Milan not quite surviving in the way that we thought he might, but he can be excused that. He has had a brilliant week. That does, however, mean that Dylan Groenewegen should take over now. Well, will take over that red points jersey for the final time. So Groenewegen will win the points jersey for a good week of sprinting. He hasn't managed to come away with the 2 wins he had last year, though. But Ruben Guerrero and the Movistar team have started this season brilliantly by taking out a stage race win. And, of course, finishing as the best rider yesterday on the Queen stage as well. Ruben Guerrero, the winner overall of the 3rd edition of the Saudi Tour. Hope you have enjoyed it, folks. Those of you at home who've been with us, we certainly have, Robbie and I. It's been a brilliant week of racing yet again in Saudi Arabia.